I don't want to say the level of exaggeration here is what I don't understand. The reason is in 2015, His Excellency ran for election, won his election outrightly to the glaring eye of every Nigerian. Yes, he was robbed of that election, but he continued. In 2019, the same thing. And most of you are Abians now, you have the history. Sometimes we know when somebody decides to wear his clothes, instead of wearing the front, he wears the back. We just have to take it the way we, and that's one of the reasons that kept Abia where Abia was before he came. In 2023, His Excellency moved into Labour Party before Peter Obi. Am I correct?
Yes.
So that means his political calculations were much advanced. Because I could remember when people like us were called, I ran for that election alongside His Excellency, and I can tell you for free that already the momentum, the capacity of His Excellency as an individual was overwhelming in Abia. I'm not talking about Nigeria because he was not running for presidency. If that election was done without an Obi in the picture, he would have won his election landslide. You also forget that Obi came in, yes, a couple of times, did his campaign and left. But who was carrying the burden of that campaign in Abia? Is His Excellency. So what I'm trying to say is that we know when to separate the bone from the fish. So Otti's wave is natural. Obi's wave only visited. And Otti's wave has been here substantially since 2015. Such that anybody who wants to run for election, his biggest challenge will always be, that man, Otti, is he going to run this time? It was just a gang up against him all through. For those who are in Abia, you know what I'm talking about. So with all due respect to the Obi wave, the Otti's wave has always been substantial since 2015. So perhaps, yes, when you have two good players in the field, it's expected that the ball will be sweeter now. Okay? But right now, he has been able to build men. I can tell you that from ward level to LG level, even to the state level, he has recruited, when I mean team, you might not know how sophisticated some of them are politically until you meet them in the field. So let us wait, and see what happens in 2027. I don't know if that clears you. All right.
Okay.
No Obi Wave. Alex won the election by himself. With that statement, Labour Party risks opening a political debate it may not want. The declaration by the Abia Labour Party chairman that the party will win in 2027 through the Otti Wave rather than the Obi Wave may have unintentionally ignited one of the biggest political debates ahead of the next election. The statement raises a fundamental question. Who truly delivered Labour Party's victory in Abia in 2023? Was it the nationwide momentum created by Peter Obi, or was it the personal appeal of Alex Otti? Supporters of Governor Alex Otti will argue that his performance in office has transformed the political landscape. They believe that visible projects, improved infrastructure, and governance reform have created an independent political brand capable of winning elections without depending on any national figure. However, supporters of Peter Obi may view the statement differently. To them, it appears to downplay the unprecedented political movement that swept across Nigeria in 2023. Many political observers agree that the Obi Wave dramatically increased Labour Party's visibility, energized first-time voters, and made the party competitive in states where it previously had little electoral strength. Without that momentum, critics ask, would Labour Party have achieved the same breakthrough? The timing of the statement also raises eyebrows. Why create a distinction between the Otti Wave and the Obi Wave when both leaders once belonged to the same political family? Political messaging is usually designed to unite supporters, not create competing narratives about who deserves more credit. Another question is whether Labour Party is beginning to shift from a movement centered on Peter Obi to one built around Governor Alex Otti's performance in Abia. If that is the strategy, it signals a deliberate effort to localize the party's appeal ahead of the 2027 election. Yet, politics can be unforgiving. Performance in governance does not automatically translate into electoral victory. Economic realities, voter expectations, internal party cohesion, and the strength of opposition campaigns will all shape the outcome. The goodwill that accompanies a new administration can fade if citizens feel their daily lives have not improved enough by election time. There is also the risk of political optics. If not carefully managed, the Otti Wave versus Obi Wave narrative could be interpreted as an unnecessary comparison between the two gladiators. Ultimately, the 2027 election will answer the question that no press conference can settle. Has Governor Alex Otti built a political structure strong enough to win on the strength of his record alone? Or will Labour Party still benefit significantly from Peter Obi's national influence? Until voters cast their ballots, the Otti Wave versus Obi Wave debate remain more of a political narrative than an established fact. It is a bold claim by the party leadership, one that will be tested at the ballot box rather than in press briefings. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you've not done that, and click on the notification bell so you'll be the first to get our videos as they drop. I'd like to get your take. Drop them on the comment section.
The ruling party, we are mostly on ground than any other party. That is, if there is any opposition in Abia State. And I'll tell you, unlike what it was when we came in 2023, you realize that it was more like an ad hoc approach. And of course, we had the buy-in of majority of the Abians. Today, from the grassroots, we have councillors, we have chairmen, we have house members. Remember when we came in, there was even an issue that we were not majority in the house. In the context of number, because we had alliance with other political parties who we matched, and then of course we produced a majority. But today I can tell you that more than 90% of those in the House of Assembly are Labour Party House members. So what does that tell you? What it means is that structurally we've been able to spread, we're widening up on a daily basis. And of course, it's also evident in the level of, entrant, the new people who are defected into the party. Just the other day, we received former governorship candidate, Regan Ofamba from Isialango North. And then, of course, a couple of other people. The other time, Senator Inabaribe joined us, representing Abia South. So we have a whole lot of people like that. If the party is not well positioned, I want to tell you, most of these people would not find their way into the Labour Party. So today I will tell you that if elections are to be conducted today, before 2 p.m., we would have won our elections. You can take that to the bank. And then one thing we're enjoying is the love we're getting from Abians. Abians now feel liberated. Abians feel, that pride of being God's own state is just obvious. And that is one of the core results of this current, government. So when you have the masses, you have the structure. I wonder what else will make you feel.
Classifying us as one of the hungriest countries of the world. And as you know, last year, I said every day, Ukraine that is at war, dash Nigeria grain to feed themselves. They are at war. And they gave us grain. That cannot continue. Nigeria cannot be in list of hungriest country of the world. About 100 million Nigerians don't have access to electricity. In today's world, it is unacceptable. A country of over 200 million people only generate and distribute 4,000. When comparable countries of the world, to use even African ones, their biggest economy, South Africa, and Egypt, number 2, generate today over 40,000 megawatts. So we are not even producing 10% of what these 2 African nations are producing and distributing. Both of them are less than 50% of our population. And they generate 10 times the electricity we generate. This is an African country. It is unacceptable. It cannot happen. And I pledge on our behalf of our government that in 4 years, this country will generate and distribute at least 10,000 megawatts from the 4,000 they are doing today. It is something we have studied. We are not going to get into government and start giving you excuse why it will not happen. Unemployment. If you Google Nigeria today, it says Nigeria is 4%, have 4% unemployment. Do not take it, it's not serious, it's a lie.